Hi everyone, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a full face of makeup that I loved from the first time I tried it. I don't know what exactly I'm going to call this video, but this makeup was love at first use. So these are not products that it took me a while to kind of get into, or I was wishy-washy on them at all. These are things that I tried and they instantly became favorites, and a lot of them you may know already if you watch my channel, but I just kind of had this idea the other day. I thought it would be kind of a fun video to do, so I hope you enjoy. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'd love it if you'll subscribe, and let's go ahead and get into the video. All right, we're gonna start with the brows. We're taking it back to one of my favorite brow products of all time. If you've been here for a while, you probably know what it is, but it's the Patrick Ta Brow Wax. This one is the tinted one, but I knew this had to be in this video because I really did fall in love with this immediately. When I tried it, it didn't take any time for me to like warm up to it or anything. I just love this, and it's still my favorite brow wax, to be honest. Out of all of them, I just love it. I love the clear and the tinted one. So I got some on my spoolie. If you've been here for a while, you'll probably remember at one point I wore this pretty much every day. I used it in almost every video that I filmed because I loved it that much. So this is definitely a product worthy of being in this video. So when I use this, I like to kind of go through them a few times, and then I like to kind of press them down a little bit and let them kind of set there while I do the rest of my makeup. This is actually the e.l.f. Brow Lift applicator. So it came out with the clear brow lift that is like the brow freeze from Anastasia. It's really nice. You can just kind of use it to press your brows down and kind of let them set, and then we'll fill them in a little later. For Corrector, honestly, I had two picked out for this category because two came to mind that I was hooked on from the first time I tried them. So I'm trying to decide which one I'm going to use, but you probably know the Bobbi Brown Stick Corrector. From the first time I used it, it had my heart. I loved it so much, but my newest one from EXA also already has my heart, and I've only had this for like a week and a half, but I love this. I loved it the first time I tried it. So I guess I'll use Bobbi Brown today since we used the EXA in my last two videos. So we'll use Bobbi Brown today. But this one I love. The color is perfect for me. I wear the shade Bisque. And I actually love that you can just kind of brush this one on. This one is such a unique formula. It's so thin and lightweight, but it covers really well. It's, I would say, not a full coverage corrector. I would say it's more of a medium coverage. This is more full coverage of the two, but I love this one very, very much. If you struggle with your under eyes looking cakey, but you need a color corrector underneath, the Bobbi Brown is a good one because it's so thin. I'm also going to be using makeup brushes that I loved from the very first time I tried them. So I'm going to be incorporating those as well throughout the video. But this little brush, I get asked about this brush so much, but it's from AOA Studio. So it's the Shop Miss A brand that you get online. And this brush I got probably about, I don't know, like a year ago, maybe a little more than that. They sent me some makeup to do a video, and this was one of the brushes that I got. It only comes in a duo, so you have to buy the duo to get this brush, but the duo is like $2, and you get another larger brush, like a face foundation brush, but it's definitely worth it for $2. I use this little brush all the time. I will link it for you, but it's just the perfect size for under your eyes. You could use it for corrector or concealer. I really, really love it. For foundation, you already know, I'm sure, which one it is. I had to go with NARS. This has been my absolute favorite since I tried it. I have not strayed from that opinion. I was blown away by this the very first time I tried it. But a few of you asked me what the difference is between this and the new Hourglass foundation, because I did say in the video where I tried the Hourglass that it reminded me of the NARS. The difference to me is mainly in the coverage. The finish on your face looks very similar to me, but the Hourglass is a little bit thicker in consistency and you get more coverage initially than you do with the NARS. Now I do think with the NARS you can build it up to get just as much coverage as you get from this. It's just with this you get it with a little less product than you would get with this, if that makes sense, but they are very close. I was almost considering mixing the two together, but I always get kind of nervous when I do that because I've never mixed them before. I'm not gonna mix them just in case they don't mix well. I'll probably do that at some point when I'm not filming, and then if it works, then I'll do it in another video. But I love the NARS, you guys. I wear the shade Deauville, L number 4. This is what I normally wear when I don't have any self-tan on, so right now it's probably gonna be a little bit light for me, but that's fine because we're gonna use some bronzer and make everything match. But honestly, I love this foundation so much. I will probably at some point buy a darker shade in this. I love it that much. I want options. That way I could like mix the shades together and all that. But anyway, I only have one shade right now. I just sprayed my face with MAC Fix Plus. I've really been liking doing that lately before I blend out foundation. I feel like it just helps it blend better, and I don't know, I just really like how my foundation looks when I do that. This is also a brush that is 100% had me from the first time I tried it, and it's from BK Beauty. It's the 106 brush. You see me use this a lot. It's like top 5 favorite brushes in my collection. I love it that much. It is the perfect size for foundation. You can also use it for cream bronzer. I do that a lot. You could use it for cream blush. It's just a really good brush. I love the size. It's really good quality and I use it all the time. So you can see with the NARS, I would say you get like light medium coverage initially, but you can build it up and get more of a fuller medium coverage. The Hourglass is pretty full coverage, or pretty full medium coverage initially. So that's what I would say is the main difference between the two, is the coverage level. I'm just taking what is left on the back of my hand and just kind of tapping that on. For concealer, again, there are 2 that came to mind immediately, and the first one is the Dior Backstage. The other one is the NYX Bear With Me. I love both of these so much, and I had the same reaction to both. I did a whole dedicated video on this one, I think it was back in December, I want to say, somewhere around there. I did a video on this and I loved it from the first time I tried it. It was so good. Same with the Dior. So again, I'm trying to decide. I think Dior will match a little bit better with my coloring right now. I wear L2, or let's see, 2N in the Dior, and I wear vanilla in the NYX. I love them both. I recommend both 100%. So I'm gonna use Dior today, and I'm gonna use the shade 2N. I will say the consistency on these is actually very similar. This one kind of has that serum-y kind of texture, and so does this one, obviously, because it's called Serum. The brush, you already know, Sigma F03. This brush was the same way. I talk about it constantly because I absolutely love this. It just blends concealer just perfectly. It's large enough to kind of spread concealer, and it's fluffy enough to kind of blend and spread at the same time. You can kind of tap it. I mean, it's so good. I have 2 of these, and I mean, I very rarely do my makeup without this brush. I love it that much. I mean, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but do you see how good that concealer looks? Like, it's a natural finish. It's not a matte concealer. It's not luminous. It's just kind of right in between. It just lays so beautifully under my eyes. For bronzer, again, I had a few that came to mind, but I remember specifically filming a video and loving this one that I chose so much initially, and it's the Rare Beauty in the shade Happy Soul. The reason I like this is I say this every time, but it's because it's the only thing I can think of to describe this. This is the smoothest, creamiest, easy to blend product. It's almost like a velvety kind of finish. It feels like silky on your face almost. I don't know. I'm probably doing a really bad job at explaining, but I really like it. I'm gonna use this Fenty 195 bronzer brush. I will say I personally like to get it on the brush and then go on my face with it. I know a lot of people just kind of swipe it on and then blend it. I just find I always like how it looks much more if I do it this way. And I think I said it, but this is the shade Happy Soul. It's also pretty pigmented, so like as you'll see, can kind of be pretty light-handed with it. You really don't need a lot. And I like this color because I can wear this when I'm a little bit more fair, and I can also wear it when I have a little more color like I do right now. This brush actually I've had for a very long time, and it didn't wow me initially, and I think it's because I was trying to use it for powder bronzer and I didn't love the shape of it for that, but for some reason now that I started using it for my cream bronzer, I really love it. And this is the Fenty bronzer brush. So I think I bought this when I bought the Fenty powder bronzer, which was quite a while ago. And then I used it for the powder. I didn't end up loving it, and so I just kind of put it away. But I pulled it out the other day, and it is really, really nice to blend out cream bronzer. Also obsessed with these shirts right now. They're just kind of oversized button-up shirts. They're from Abercrombie, and I have a few colors in them now because they look cute with everything. Right now I just have it on with a tank top underneath it and some like sweat shorts, but they're so cute, so comfortable. So I'm making sure I bring this bronzer down my neck since that foundation is a little light for my body right now, but isn't that such a pretty cream bronzer? I'm gonna take a little bit of a powder bronzer, and the one I went for this is Neutrogena Healthy Skin Bronzer. If you watched my Neutrogena video I did, I don't know, like 6 months ago, maybe less than 6 months ago, I bought this for that video and I absolutely love this bronzer. It is 100% a hidden gem at the drugstore. So I'm going to just apply a little bit of this over the top of this cream. I really don't need a ton, but I do want to add just a little bit of this and just kind of tap it over the top. This is such a good formula on this bronzer. It's so creamy and just easy to blend for a powder. I find sometimes powder bronzers, depending on the formula, can be a little iffy. This one is so beautiful. The only downside is they only make it in one shade, which Neutrogena loves to do that, which I don't understand. This is 2022. We need more than one shade of bronzer. But it's a good one. I really love it. It has 4 different tones in it. I don't know if you can see there, but it is stunning. Love it, and it was an immediate favorite for me. For blush, oh my gosh, you guys, this was so hard. I had 2 and I still have both of them sitting here because I just don't know. I love these blushes. You probably already know. I have the Rare Beauty blushes. My 2 absolute favorites are Happy and Hope. I have loved these from the first time I tried them, but you know my all-time favorite, Patrick Ta. She's That Girl. I mean, how do I choose between these? Honestly, She's That Girl is kind of a mixture of these two. I mean, it's closer to Happy, I would say, than Hope, but Happy is a lot more blue-based. This one is a warmer pink, but it's still like that bright poppy color. But like, I still remember trying this Happy blush. I remember my immediate reaction was, holy moly. I feel like I gotta go with this Happy. I almost feel like I want to mix these two. I don't think, have I ever done that? I don't think I have. We're gonna go with Happy. I feel in my heart that I need to go with Happy. This color, okay, you don't want to play around with it though. It packs a punch. If you like this poppy pink color, you'll love this. Actually, this is the first time I'm using this Fenty brush for the blush, and I kind of like it actually. But I mean, look at that color. Oh, it's perfect, you guys. It really is. Oh yeah, this brush is really good for cream blush also. So you saw how little I applied and how much color you get. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to over apply this, but if you do, you can always go back in with your foundation brush or just a damp sponge. I just have to use a little bit of this one. I'm going to take just a very small tap of the She's That Girl, like that much. I don't know if you can even see it, but I just want to put this color on the top because I feel like, yeah, it just goes really well. It's just a little bit warmer than Happy. For powder, there was really no contest here. The powder that blew me away from the very beginning is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I consistently reach for this, and when I don't, and I go a week or 2 and don't use it and then start using it again, I fall back in love with it every single time. I wear the shade Breezy, and I'm just gonna tap this kind of in the center of my face. Also, one thing I love about this powder is it blurs your skin Like truly, when you feel like maybe a product is kind of emphasizing any texture or pores on your face, this one somehow blurs them, honestly, better than any of my other powders. And I have a few that I would say kind of have a blurring quality to them, but none of them are as good as this one, in my opinion. The other thing I love about this powder is somehow it blurs without taking away all the shine from your face. So it does kind of mattify, but it doesn't mattify too much, if that makes sense. So like you can still see the glow on my face, but it kind of toned down this area, which is where I typically notice pores. All right, it's time to kind of fill in my brows. So I pulled 2 brow products that I loved both initially. You may remember me trying these out in videos, and the first one is the Clinique Quickliner pencil. I bought this for my full face of Clinique, and this was one of the products I honestly just bought it so I would have a brow product to use, and then I loved it immediately. I love the color. It was easy to use. It's very creamy. I just loved it. I wear the shade Soft Brown, and I've been consistently using this ever since. So I typically kind of outline my brows with this, and then I'm gonna use one more product to kind of add a little bit of dimension. Yeah, so I kind of go through and kind of map out the shape that I want with this pencil, and then I take the kind of finishing product, which is the NYX Lift and Snatch pen. I've been using this for a long time. I've been through multiple of these. I just love it. I also love the micro brow pencil. I could have also used that, but the Clinique one just kind of stood out as a product that I just loved so much instantly, but I like the micro brow also. I like to just kind of sparingly add little tiny little hair strokes. I just find you get more of that natural kind of fluffy brow when you use a pen like this more than like a pencil. It just adds a lot of boldness to your brows. Okay, I already applied my primer on my eyes. I didn't show it because it's kind of boring, but my favorite from the beginning has always been the NARS tinted eyeshadow base. I love it. For eyeshadow, do you even have to ask what I chose? Nothing has ever given me the reaction that this has. Nothing. Not to say I don't love my other eyeshadow palettes, and I don't have a ton that I have gotten more recently than this and love, but there's just something about this one. I can't really explain it other than I just love it. This is my perfect palette. I think today I'm going to use the creams. I don't always use the creams in this palette, but I kind of want to use this lighter cream first before we go in with any powders. Kind of warming it up a little bit on the back of my hand before I go on my eyes, just because I haven't used these creams in a super long time. But I'm gonna start this on the lid and just kind of blend it up into the crease. But I mean, I'm using a very light hand with this because I don't want it to be too much. I just want kind of a light wash of this light brown all over. And this is a really good brush for this step. It's the BK Beauty 206. I also love the MAC 217. I was gonna use that one, but my MAC 217 has blue eyeshadow on it. If you saw my last video, you'll know why. I haven't cleaned it yet, so I'm not going to use that today, but I do like it. These creams in this palette are also very beautiful. You just definitely start small and build it up if you want more color, because they can definitely get very pigmented very quickly. Next, I'm going to go into probably one of my favorite eyeshadow shades of all time, and it's this one right here. I'm terrible at telling which shade this is. I think it's just called Transition. This one right here. It's the perfect neutral brown. It's not too warm, it's not too cool, it's like right in between. I love it. So I'm just gonna go over that cream and bring it up onto or into the crease area, kind of drag it out a little bit. And this is most definitely a brush that I love so much. I use it constantly. It's BK Beauty 201. It's such a good crease brush. It's a good blending brush, like just to kind of go back and blend out any lines, any harsh lines or anything. It's just so good. I've loved it from the first time I tried it. I use these all the time. Then I'm going to go into this shade. So this is an interesting shade. It's really pretty warmer brown, and it looks kind of like a matte shade, but it has glitter, or not glitter, it has shimmer in it. But the texture is like a matte shade. So with this, I am actually just going to add it to the outer corner just to add a little bit of depth out here. I'm not going to add a ton. It's so beautiful, so pretty. This brush is probably my most used eyeshadow brush of all of them, and it's 202 from BK Beauty. It's the perfect tapered brush. You could really do your entire eye look with just this brush. I really need to get another one because I use this one so much. It's always dirty. But it's just the perfect shape. You can blend with it, you can place color with it. I love to use it in the outer corner like this. It's unique because it has that kind of tapered tip to it, so you can really get in and do more of detailed work with your eyeshadow with this, but you can also blend with it. I love, love, love it. Normally, I would go in with one of these topper shades. So you have this pinky one and then the more like white icy one. But I'm actually thinking instead of using that, I'm just going to take a little bit of this cream shadow. So this is very similar to this warmer brown. It's a matte consistency, but it has shimmer in it. It's really, really pretty. And I think instead of using a topper with this, I'm just gonna very lightly tap just a little bit of that on the center of my lid, like just a tiny little bit. I'm gonna keep it a little more subdued today than what I normally do. I normally go really hard in with one of those toppers, but I think we're just gonna stick with this today. And that's probably it for the eyeshadow, but I do want to use the dark shade down here and do a wing with it. Another Holy Grail brush, the BK Beauty 208. It's the tiniest little angled brush, especially if you have hooded eyes and you struggle because you don't have a lot of space in your outer corner. Maybe you have a pretty significant fold, you have trouble, you need a really tiny angled brush, and this one is perfect. So I'm taking the dark brown cream shadow, and I need to look in my mirror pretty close up to do this. I am going to just do my baby wing that I love. And then I'm also going to take the dark brown matte in this palette. I'm going to use that same tiny little brush, and I'm going to kind of stamp over our wings just to kind of lock everything in place. And then on the lower lash line, I'm just gonna take a little bit of that transition shade. I don't love a lot on my lower lash line, so I'm just taking just a little bit of that shade. Okay, the mascara I wanted to pick, I do not have it right now. I use mine up and I'm trying not to buy a new one until I go through some other ones, but my favorite from the very first time I used it is the L'Oreal Voluminous Balm Mascara in brown. I love it. The closest thing that I have is the Maybelline Sky High in brown. So I'm gonna use Maybelline today, but of the two, I like L'Oreal a little bit better. This one is also good. L'Oreal is much easier to get off than this Maybelline one. I'm pretty sure this Maybelline is a tubing mascara, which the Balm mascara is not, but this one gives a similar look. For a lip liner, my favorite has been NYX Line Loud and Global Citizen. The first time I tried this, I loved it. I've been using it almost daily ever since. I'm not kidding. I love the formula. I love the color. It's so good. These are very creamy, so they're easy to apply, but they also last pretty well, which is kind of rare. For a lip product, again, I could have gone a few different ways, but the one that just had to be the winner is the Makeup by Mario MoistureGlow lip serums. I have 3 of them. I have Bare Glow, Apricot Glow, and Bronze Glow. I feel like I want to go with Bare Glow. Bare Glow is a really light pink. This is just my kind of lip product. It is shiny, like a gloss. They do have a little bit of shimmer to them, but I mean, it's really fine shimmer. You wouldn't notice it unless you were just looking for it. They plump, or they give you that plump feeling slightly, but not too much. They give color, but not too much. It's like a lipstick and a lip balm and a lip gloss all in one. I just love them. That's why I have 3 of them. I would love to have every color, but they're so sorry. All right, you guys, that is gonna be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just realized I totally didn't mention the one product that inspired this video idea. We didn't use it, but it should have been in the video, and it's the new Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize in Exagger Eyes. This was an absolute love from the first time I opened it. I love this so much. I used it in my last trying new makeup video, and then I also did a whole reel on it on Instagram, but I love this, so I had to mention it. We didn't use it today. We used the creams in the Patrick Ta palette instead, but that eyeshadow is kind of what inspired this video, so I wanted to mention it. But thank you so much for watching. I will list and link all of the products and the brushes down below for you. As always, they are affiliate links, so if you do shop through them, I do make a small commission. I always like to let you know that ahead of time, but thank you so much if you do choose to do that. Thank you for being here. Make sure to thumbs up the video and subscribe if you're new, and follow me over on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will see you next time. Remember, simply be you. Bye.